अध्यक्ष जी, माननीय सांसद जी ने बहुत महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्न और वक्तव्य भी दिया है। मैं आपके द्वारा अध्यक्ष जी हाउस को और देश को सूचित करना चाहता हूं कि प्रधानमंत्री जी का विश्वास और संकल्प था कि भारत केवल एक सर्विसेज नेशन न बने लेकिन एक प्रोडक्ट नेशन भी बने। टेलीकॉम का विस्तार पूरे विश्व में जिस पैमाने पर भारत में हुआ है शायद किसी और देश में पिछले 10 वर्षों में नहीं हुआ है। हमारी 5G रोल आउट विश्व की सबसे तीव्र गति की रोल आउट रही है। हमने करीब 1 साल के अंदर 99% जिले कवर कर दिए और 82% आबादी कवर कर दी। लेकिन जहां तक BSNL का विषय है, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक कदम आगे लक्ष्य धारित किया कि आत्मनिर्भर भारत की नीति के आधार पर BSNL जब 4G का इक्विपमेंट और नेटवर्क लगाएगा तो वो केवल स्वदेशी इक्विपमेंट और नेटवर्क लगाई जाएगी। आज पूरे विश्व में अध्यक्ष जी केवल 4 देश हैं जिन्होंने 4G का टेलीकॉम नेटवर्क का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग किया है। वो है फिनलैंड, स्वीडन, चाइना और साउथ कोरिया, पूरे विश्व में। और आज हर्ष के साथ मैं सूचित करना चाहता हूं कि आज 5वां देश पूरे विश्व में भारत बन चुका है जिसने अपना स्वदेशी 4G नेटवर्क कॉर और रैन, केवल कॉर C.DOT भारतीय सरकार की कंपनी के द्वारा, रैन रेडियो एक्सेस नेटवर्क तेजस टाटा की कंपनी के द्वारा और सिस्टम इंटीग्रेटर, सॉफ्टवेयर सिस्टम इंटीग्रेटर भी स्वदेशी TCS कंपनी। फुल टोटल स्वदेशी आत्मनिर्भर नेटवर्क आज रोल आउट किया जा रहा है। 1 लाख साइट्स हमारे रोल आउट किए जा रहे हैं। BSNL का नेटवर्क पूर्ण स्वदेशी इक्विपमेंट के आधार पर होगा। और आपके द्वारा एक और बात मैं सूचित करना चाहता हूं अध्यक्ष जी कि 17 साल बाद, 18 साल बाद, पिछले बार 2007 में, आज 2025 में 18 साल बाद अध्यक्ष जी पहली बार इतिहास रचा गया है कि BSNL ने अक्टूबर से दिसंबर क्वार्टर में नेट प्रॉफिट देश को दिखाया है 262 करोड़ रुपए का। 18 साल बाद प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में जो पिछला क्वार्टर अक्टूबर दिसंबर का 2023-24 वित्तीय वर्ष का था, 1262 करोड़ का लॉस था। इस वर्ष अक्टूबर दिसंबर के क्वार्टर में 262 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट हुआ है और ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट के आधार पर जो केवल 500 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट था, इस बार अक्टूबर दिसंबर के क्वार्टर में 1500 करोड़ रुपए का ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट BSNL का हो गया।
सेकंड सप्लीमेंट्री माननीय इंदु बाला गोस्वामी जी।
मैं माननीय मंत्री जी से जानना चाहती हूँ, क्या ट्राई द्वारा हिमाचल प्रदेश में कुछ जिलों की पहचान की गई है जहाँ संचार सुविधा नहीं होने से आमजन प्रभावित है? इन क्षेत्रों में दूर संचार सुविधा को मजबूत करने के लिए भविष्य में सौर पैनल लगाने की संभावना है क्या?
माननीय मंत्री जी।
सर, ये हिमाचल प्रदेश का प्रश्न है सर, और जैसे हम सबको विदित है, हिमाचल प्रदेश केवल सांस्कृतिक महत्व का नहीं लेकिन भारत के इतिहास का महत्व का बहुत महत्वपूर्ण प्रदेश है। और हिमाचल प्रदेश में प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में जो 100% सैचुरेशन की हमारा लक्ष्य है, उसके अंतर्गत 4G सैचुरेशन के प्रोजेक्ट के आधार पर 660 टावर्स हमारे प्लान्ड हैं हिमाचल प्रदेश के अंतर्गत। जिलेवार में ब्यौरा भी दे सकता हूं, बिलासपुर, चंबा, हमीरपुर, कांगड़ा, किन्नौर, कुल्लू, लाहौल स्पीति, मंडी, शिमला, सिरमौर, सोलन, ऊना, इन 12 के 12 जिलों में 660 टावर्स हमारे लक्ष्य हमने निर्धारित किए हैं, जिससे मैं खुशी से सूचित करना चाहता हूं माननीय सांसद जी को कि 423 टावर्स हमारे ऑन एयर पर हो चुके हैं 100% सैचुरेशन के लक्ष्य की पूर्ति की। तो मतलब कि 65% लक्ष्य की पूर्ति हमारी हो चुकी है। इसके अतिरिक्त अध्यक्ष महोदय, हमारा हिमाचल प्रदेश एक बॉर्डर स्टेट है, तो हमने लक्ष्य निर्धारित किया है कि 38 टावर्स हमारे बॉर्डर्स विलेज में हम लोग लगाएंगे। और मुझे खुशी है आपको सूचित करते हुए कि 38 टावर्स के आधार पर 37 टावर्स आज के दिन पे लग चुके हैं, मतलब 99% लक्ष्य की पूर्ति हो गई है। और बॉर्डर आउटपोस्ट, हमारे आर्मी के लिए बॉर्डर आउटपोस्ट और बॉर्डर इनपोस्ट का लक्ष्य भी निर्धारित किया है, जिसपे 3 टावर्स हमारे लगने वाले हैं।
थर्ड सप्लीमेंट्री श्री पी विल्सन।
Sir, Honorable Minister, sir. Sir, you were saying that the 4G rollout has been done and 5G rollout is going on. Sir, the market share of BSNL has dropped to 7.33% as of June 2024 compared to 10.72 in December 2020. And BSNL revenue is impacted mainly due to the delay in 4G rollout. When other network operators are marching ahead with 5G, BSNL is still testing. And the CAG report, sir, they say the BSNL failure to bill Reliance Jio since May 2014 as per the agreement on passive infrastructure sharing has incurred a loss of 1,757.56 crores. Sir, what steps have been taken against the persons who have failed to bill, and steps taken to address the issue, and also steps taken to make BSNL competitive with others and to address the decline in market share? Thank you, Chairman, sir.
Honorable Minister.
Question that Wilson ji is asked will take about 20 minutes to answer, because in one question he has put...
He's a senior advocate.
Yes, he has very, very nicely, eloquently put in about 7 or 8 supplementaries. So I will endeavor to answer all his queries, sir. So first of all, I'd just like to correct him. We have not yet completed our goal of 1 lakh towers of 4G. So switching to 5G will happen after we have executed on our goal of 1 lakh towers of 4G. You're absolutely right that there was a delay, and that delay was premeditated. As I mentioned in my first answer earlier, we had 2 options before us, and I think you would support me in this. We either go and buy international equipment from other suppliers, like all other telcos are doing, or India makes its name in the international market that we are also a manufacturer of telecom equipment. So the easy way out was to buy the equipment. The difficult way out was to actually manufacture our own equipment. And as the Prime Minister has always said, कि चुनौती में हम अवसर देखते हैं. And Prime Minister has been able to convert that chunauti into an afsar, and today India has become only the 5th country to produce our own telecom equipment. So therefore, with that, we are now rolling out 1 lakh towers of 4G. Of the 1 lakh towers, I would like to inform through you, sir, to Honorable MP Wilson and the rest of the country, that we have on air today close to 73,326 towers. So 73% of our task is done. And it is my endeavor that we will ensure that this is done at the soonest possible. Once 4G network is fully rolled out, today we have already close to about 1.85 crore subscribers on 4G for BSNL. And once it is fully rolled out 100,000 towers, then we will start the task of switching tower by tower 4G to 5G. That's not a very difficult task, because you have to add maybe only one more BTS and some more software. So that's on your first point. On your second point, in terms of customer attrition, you're absolutely right, sir, that the data that you pointed out, but if I may add that your data is dated. You're right that the market share had fallen, and it was 8.55 crores in June. But I'd also like to inform you through the chairman and the House, and you'll be glad to know that from June 24 till February 25, BSNL for the first time in its history has climbed from 8.55 crore customers to 9.1 crore customers. We have added 55 lakh customers in the last 6 to 7 months. In addition to that, the point that you made in terms of profitability I have already addressed. The last point that you made with regard to expanding our network, we are also looking at quality of service in terms of our provision. It is an ongoing endeavor. And finally, the point that you raised on the CAG report. Let me also point out that it's important to look at the MSAs, the Master Service Agreements, and there are different MSAs that have been signed by with different telecom operators. We believe that we must sweat our asset as best as possible. Towers are an asset of BSNL, and we must sweat them to get more revenue for BSNL. Our top line, let me also assure you, in the last October to December quarter has grown by 9%. We have squeezed on costs by close to about 18%, and that has led to an EBITDA multiplying 3 times for the October to December quarter, as I mentioned in my earlier answer in the supplementary. So BSNL is on its path of rationalization, profitability, customer service, all the statistics that you would look at as a customer, or I would look at as a customer. The final point on CAG, we must look at the master service agreements. We have different master service agreements with different suppliers. There are technical issues involved. I don't want to bore you with the details, but if I put it very succinctly for you, there's an asset that is given to a telco. For that asset, we take a certain amount of revenue. If the telco adds a certain equipment onto that asset, then as per the size of the equipment, because a tower is real estate, so when you add some equipment onto that real estate, we should get some revenue. So based on the quality of equipment you're adding onto the tower, you will keep paying us an additional amount of revenue stream. However, if you add a new technology and you add a new BTS, only then does that 70% increase clause come into play. In this case, that was not the case. So there has been no loss to BSNL.
So BSNL is भाई साहब निश्चित लगेगा.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर.
सप्लीमेंट्री नंबर 4 श्री प्रफुल्ल पटेल.
थैंक यू चेयरमैन साहब. इनके मंत्री जी को मैं बधाई दूंगा कि कह रहे हैं कि पहली बार, और सही जानकारी है कि पहली बार BSNL के सब्सक्राइबर की संख्या बढ़ रही है और आर्थिक परिस्थिति भी BSNL की सुधार की ओर है, और पहली बार पिछले 6 महीने में उनको प्रॉफिट भी हुआ है, 3 महीने में. तो इसके लिए उनको विशेष करके बधाई. सर, बात उन्होंने जो कही कि टावर हम 4G के ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लगाना चाहते हैं, ये बहुत अच्छी बात है और ये भी उतना सही है, और सभी मैं समझता हूँ कि सांसद भी इस बात से सहमत होंगे कि कोई भी अंतिम गांव में जाएंगे तो अगर कोई टावर मिलेगा चलता हुआ तो वो BSNL का ही हो सकता है. और ये बात भी सही है कि ये सेवा ज़्यादा हम हमारे देश के जोड़ने के लिए जो कर रहे हैं उसमें सरकार को या BSNL को घाटा भी होता होगा, लेकिन उसकी न चिंता करते हुए देश के सभी लोगों को आज टेलीकॉम से जोड़ने का काम किया है. मेरा एक ही प्रश्न है सर कि जब कहीं कहीं जगह पर मोनोपोली जैसी सिचुएशन है आज, जब BSNL की स्पेशली दूर दराज के और जंगली इलाकों में, नक्सल इलाकों में, तो वहाँ पर 4G का अपग्रेडेशन जल्दी कर आप दूसरे कंपटीशन को भी रोक सकते हैं, वहाँ सेवाएं बेहतर कर सकते हैं. मगर एक सुझाव ये है कि आधे से ज़्यादा टावर कहीं ना कहीं कभी ना कभी बंद रहते हैं, उसको कैसे ये उसको सुचारू रूप से अगर मेंटेन कर सकते हैं कि नहीं, उसके बारे में मंत्री जी जानकारी दें.
ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर
महोदय ने 2 मुद्दे उठाए सर. नंबर 1 उन्होंने कहा है कि हमारे लेफ्ट विंग एक्सट्रीमिज्म अफेक्टेड एरियाज़ में भी टावर्स का अपग्रेडेशन होना चाहिए, और मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं सांसद महोदय को, क्योंकि इतनी महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दे को उन्होंने उठाया. इन इलाकों में और दूर दराज इलाकों में टेलीकॉम प्रोविज़न बहुत एक ज़रूरी मुद्दा आज हो चुका है, क्योंकि सर आज टेलीकॉम केवल एक कैरिजवे नहीं है. टेलीकॉम एक कैपेबिलिटी है एक मानवीय की आर्थिक, सामाजिक और वैश्विक वृद्धि का साधन बनने के लिए, क्योंकि इस डब्बे से हम लोग पूरे विश्व से कनेक्ट होते हैं. लेफ्ट विंग एक्सट्रीमिज्म अपग्रेडेशन योजना के तहत एक योजना हम लोग ने DBN डिजिटल भारत निधि के अंतर्गत बनाया है, जिसमें USOF का फंड्स जाते हैं. उसके अंतर्गत 2343 टावर्स हम लोग ने रेखांकित किए हैं LWE क्षेत्र में, जिस पर आज तीव्र गति से कार्य हो रहा है. कई इलाकों में अपग्रेडेशन हो चुका है और आज के दिवस पर करीब 510 टावर्स हमारे अपग्रेड हो चुके हैं इन 2343 में से, और शीघ्र ही शीघ्र हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं इसका रोल आउट हो। मंत्री जी का सांसद जी का दूसरा प्रश्न था कि जो हमारे 4G या 2G के भी टावर्स हों, कई जगह बैटरीज की वजह से सुचारू रूप से दूरसंचार की सेवा उत्पन्न नहीं हो पाती, और मुझे कोई कठिनाई नहीं है ये कहते हुए कि ये कई जगहों में ये सत्य है, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं। तो हम लोग वर्तमान में एक योजना बना रहे हैं कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर के लिए, जहां बैटरी का बैकअप, मीडिया का बैकअप, जहां भी अपग्रेडेशन की जरूरत है BSNL के पूरे नेटवर्क में करीब हमारे कुल मिलाकर 2 लाख टावर्स, आज 2.5 लाख टावर्स पूरे देश में लग चुके हैं। तो वर्तमान में हमारी कंपनी पूरी एनालिसिस कर रही है 2.5 लाख टावर्स की, कि कहाँ बैटरी अपग्रेडेशन की जरूरत है, मीडिया अपग्रेडेशन की जरूरत है, और वो कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर भी हम अगले चरण में ये 1 लाख टावर्स लगाने के बाद वो कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर भी हम लोग करेंगे। उसके साधन 2 हैं, या तो हम वित्त मंत्री जी के हाथ जोड़ेंगे और राशि देने के लिए, और या तो हम BSNL के प्रॉपर्टीज के मोनेटाइजेशन भी करेंगे ताकि हम अपना इंटरनल अक्रूल से उसको हम लोग फंड कर पाए।
5th सप्लीमेंट्री श्री संतोष कुमार P।
Thank you, sir. Sir, on March 11th and 12th, 2 Indian telecom companies signed an agreement with Elon Musk's Starlink. And after that, they have issued a press statement also. And statement is almost similar. So was there any compulsion from the side of the government of India to enter into such an agreement? And moreover, we have invested heavily in optical fiber cables. So what would be the future of this investment? And sir, these Starlink devices were widely used for communication between local militant groups in Manipur. So taking into account all this, will the government allow this necessary regulatory sanction for this agreement? Thank you, sir.
Honorable Minister.
The Honorable MP has raised a pertinent question, but not factual, on one context. I would like to, through you, inform him that forget about any militant group, but please, I heard you, so please hear me. But no Indian citizen and no one on Indian soil will be able to use any satellite device without the license being given out and the spectrum being given out. Yes, there were media reports that they've had found some boxes and some units, but those were neither functional nor were they operable in any manner whatsoever. So that's answer to supplementary number 1. With regard to supplementary number 2, sir, let me say this, that it is important that as Minister of Communications, I am technology agnostic. I have to be customer centric. And I have to provide my customer, which is 1.4 billion people in my country, with every possible way of communication. And then it is for the customer to decide which service he will take, whether he takes mobile, whether he takes fixed broadband, whether he takes satellite. That's for the customer to decide. That's not for me to decide. But I must keep the gateway open for all prevailing technology. With regard to the agreements between TSPs and a satellite provider, whether it is Starlink or anyone else, that's a market mechanism. That has nothing to do with government. And also let me say that I feel that this is a complementary technology, because what does satellite do? Satellite allows you to give service in 2 places. One, where there is no mobile connectivity, where there is no, as you mentioned, OFC fiber. Those areas which are hard to reach, our citizens in our country will be able to access the world through satellite communication. Second, when you have disasters, and God forbid we have disasters in our country, but when you have disasters like we just had in Myanmar, the only option is satellite connectivity when all your networks come down. And therefore, that's a very important resource. Having said that, the agreements between the TSPs and satellite providers is for fixed broadband. not for mobile at this point of time, because mobile technology in terms of voice is not available on L and S band on your mobile phone at this point of time. So therefore, I do believe that satellite is a complementary technology, and when a satellite company comes to India, ticks all the boxes on the pro forma that we have given, then at that point of time a license will be given, and when TRAI decides on what the price of administratively assigned spectrum will be, then every satellite operator will get spectrum at that assigned price by TRAI.
Question number 347, Shrimati Priyanka Chaturvedi.
Sir, question number 347.
Honorable Minister.
माननीय सभापति जी, उत्तर सदन के पटल पर रखा है।
Supplementary number 1, Shrimati Priyanka Chaturvedi.
Sir, my question to Honorable Minister with regards to Maharashtra specifically, is the Union Minister aware that in Maharashtra, the chairman of Maharashtra Pollution Control Board is a political nominee and not someone who has the technical qualifications for something as important as pollution control? Is the Minister aware of this, and how many such appointments have been made across every state? And is the Central Pollution Control Board planning to come out with some guidelines to ensure that people who have technical knowledge, who have the technical qualifications, become the chairpersons of such committees? Thank you, sir.
Honorable Minister.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, राज्यों के जो पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड है उसके नियुक्तियों की एक प्रक्रिया है और एक मानदंड है जिसमें राज्य सरकारें नियुक्त करती हैं, तो उनके प्रश्न का जवाब महाराष्ट्र सरकार से आ सकता है।
Supplementary number 2, Priyanka Chaturvedi.
Pollution impacts everyone, and the central government can very well issue guidelines where there are political appointments rather than appointments which have technical knowledge. So I'm surprised that this is the answer coming from him. Anyway, supplementary 2, sir. I've also mentioned that based on affidavits that they have received, over 50% vacancies exist. But somehow the answer does not show the urgency of filling these vacancies. And we've got excuses like bifurcation of state, model code of conduct, due to which vacancies are not being filled. So my question to Honorable Minister is, again, Maharashtra State Pollution Control Board has not even submitted a report about their vacancy status. Considering both Mumbai and National Capital Region have a lot of vacancies existent, it is causing problems with regards to controlling high level of pollution, especially air pollution. Is the government taking steps to ensure that CPCB guidelines for AQI are followed and state PCBs fill these vacancies on a timeline?
Honorable Minister.
सभापति महोदय, पहले तो मैं यहाँ विनम्रता से स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूँ माननीय सदस्य को भी आपके माध्यम से कि पॉलिटिकल लोग भी हाईली कॉम्पिटेंट होते हैं, इसलिए वो ये ना माने पॉलिटिकल लोग।
I can see smile on the face of Professor Ram Gopal Yadav.
तो ये कह देना कि
And Sanjay Raut also.
जयराम जी भी पॉलिटिकल हैं, उंगली हाथ उठा रहे हैं, कॉम्पिटेंट हैं।
But he did not smile.
नहीं, लेकिन दूसरा जो माननीय सदस्य ने कहा है, निश्चित रूप से वो उनकी चिंता जायज है। इस समय देश में 11,562 जो टोटल पोस्ट हमारे स्टेट पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड की है, निश्चित रूप में उसमें से मैं उनकी चिंता से वाकिफ भी हूं और 5,671 पद ही इस समय भरे गए हैं। उसको लेकर के हमारे मंत्रालय के द्वारा 23 सितंबर 2024 को और 14 फरवरी 2025 को लगातार सभी स्टेट पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड को डायरेक्शन दिए जा रहे हैं। जहां तक उनकी भर्तियों की बात है, निश्चित रूप से सरकारी अनुमोदन के अभाव में कई जगह आदर्श आचार संहिता लगने के कारण अदालती प्रक्रियाओं में कई बार भर्ती में देरी होती है, कई बार प्रमोशन में होती है और कई बार जो एग्जाम देते हैं तो वो इसको लास्ट ऑप्शन लेकर के चलते हैं। लेकिन इन सब विषयों के लिए हमने प्रशासनिक कदम उठाए हैं और सभी स्टेट पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड को गाइडलाइन भी जारी की गई है।
सप्लीमेंट्री 3, श्रीमती रंजीत रंजन।
सभापति जी, आपके माध्यम से मैं मंत्री साहब से पूछना चाहती हूं कि जो आंसर है और जो प्रश्न है, पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड के जब पद ही रिक्त है और जो आंसर है उसमें कभी राज्य का विभाजन, कुछ पदों को समाप्त करना, आचार संहिता जैसे मुझे लगता है इनरिलेवेंट ये आंसर है। और तो ये क्या ये बेईमानी नहीं है कि अगर हमने पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड के पद ही नहीं भरे हैं तो हम अपने पूरे देश में प्रदूषण को कैसे कंट्रोल करेंगे? क्या आप ये बता सकते हैं कि दिल्ली इतना प्रदूषित है, वन ऑफ द मोस्ट पोल्यूटेड जो सिटी है, स्टेट है, वो बिहार है, जिसमें पटना है, मुजफ्फरपुर है, बैंगलोर है, इधर कैलकाटा है, तो क्या हमें ये मानना चाहिए कि सरकार की इच्छा शक्ति जो है पॉल्यूशन को कंट्रोल करने की बिल्कुल भी नहीं है? क्योंकि ये उत्तर तो यही दर्शा रहा है। थैंक यू सो मच।
माननीय मंत्री जी।
माननीय सभापति महोदय, मैं निश्चित रूप से मानता हूं कि पॉल्यूशन एक ऐसा विषय है जिससे आम नागरिक प्रभावित होता है। जो प्रश्न है वो विभिन्न राज्यों में जो नियुक्तियां रह गई है उसके क्या कारण है, तो हमने तो बहुत ईमानदारी से आपको सारे कारण लिख करके दिए हैं। भारत में संघीय ढांचा है, हम राज्यों के कार्यों में हस्तक्षेप नहीं करते, हम उनको गाइडलाइन ही जारी करते हैं, और जो राज्य सरकार जहां आप
माननीय सदस्य जवाब देने दीजिए, और यही परंपरा और यही प्रक्रिया का अनुपालन अपने को करना चाहिए।
दिल्ली में निश्चित रूप से विगत 10 वर्षों में सरकार के द्वारा अनेक कदम उठाए गए हैं। दिल्ली में जो पेरिफेरल रास्ते बने हैं उसके कारण जो बड़ी संख्या में कमर्शियल व्हीकल का पॉल्यूशन होता था वो दिल्ली के बाहर से जाने लगे हैं। दिल्ली में हम मैक्सिमम इंडस्ट्री को पीएनजी के ऊपर लेकर के आए हैं। दिल्ली में जो BS4 फ्यूल था उसको हमने BS6 में कन्वर्ट किया है। दिल्ली में जो हमारे सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट की जो दिक्कतें थी, अभी जो नई सरकार आई है उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से कदम उठाए हैं ताकि उन पर नियंत्रण पाया जा सके। और इसलिए आपको मैं निश्चित रूप से तथ्य बताना चाहता हूं कि आज के 10 साल पहले जो दिल्ली में पॉल्यूशन के जो दिन थे, खराब दिन थे, उनकी संख्या कम होने की बजाय अच्छे दिनों की संख्या बढ़ने लगी है।
सप्लीमेंट्री नंबर 4 श्री रविचंद्र वद्दीराजू।
Thank you very much, sir. The students in Hyderabad Central University are struggling protecting the valuable environment in the university. The large number of trees were cut down, and birds and animals, peacocks, tortoise were killed by the state government. I would like to know whether the government has any plan to take an action against the destruction of the environment in the university, sir. बहुत अन्याय हो रहा है सर। यूनिवर्सिटी लैंड सर, लैंड को डिस्ट्रैक्शन कर रहे हैं। सवाल से संबंधित ही नहीं है, बिल्कुल अलग सा सवाल है। ये इल्जाम लगा रहे हैं, ये गलत खबर दे रहे हैं, ये गलत खबर दे रहे हैं, ये गलत।
ऑनरेबल मेंबर्स, लेट अस रिड्यूस पोल्यूशन हियर, नॉइज पोल्यूशन। You see, honorable members, one second. Honorable members, there are number of occasions when a supplementary is asked, which has some connection but which is not proximate. And I always persuaded the minister to respond. Number of times from this side also. A member would ask a supplementary that is directly not connected with the core issue.
This is a political supplementary. It's a political supplementary.
Honorable Minister Ravichandra Vadi-Raju, please ask your supplementary. Yes, please.
I ask.
No.
इसको तेलंगाना में सर यूनिवर्सिटी लैंड है सर, इसमें 400 एकड़ में रातों रात में जेसीबी निकाल के लाइट लगा के बहुत सारा बड़ा ट्रीज को काट के प्लान कर रहे सर। पिकॉक्स है, टॉर्टॉइस है, अनेक जाति बर्ड्स है सर, इसको निकाल दे रहे। रात में ट्रीज भी दूसरा ट्रक्स लाके निकाल के बाहर फेंक रहे सर, उधर ट्रीज भी नहीं दिख रहे। आपको मैं होना बोले तो मैं फोटोज निकाल देता, फोटोज भी देता हूं सर, ऑथेंटिक सर, मैं फोटोज भी देता हूं सर, वीडियोस भी देता हूं सर, हर चैनल में है सर। दैट लैंड बिलोंग्स टू यूनिवर्सिटी है सर, उसको पोकलेंस लगा के खराब कर रहे सर, कट कर रहे सर, बहुत बड़ा ट्रीज है सर। हैदराबाद सिटी में यही है सर, लंग स्पेस 400 एकड़ अच्छा प्लेस है, पूरा जंगल है, वो कंक्रीट जंगल में एक ही प्लेस बचा है सर, उसमें खराब है सर। ऐसा ही बोलता है सर कभी भी बर्ड्स को, एनवायरनमेंट को खराब करने का कोई गवर्नमेंट का अधिकार नहीं है सर। आपकी माध्यम द्वारा माननीय मंत्री जी को मैं पूछ रहा हूं सर, इसको तेलंगाना के लैंड को और एनवायरमेंट को बचाना चाह रहा हूं, आपको रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूं सर, बोल रहा हूं साहब। थैंक यू सर।
ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर,
माननीय सभापति जी,
ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर,
मैं
the honorable member of parliament Ravichandra Vadiraju
जी
has flagged an issue.
जी,
Your response on that?
हाँ, माननीय सभापति महोदय, वास्तव में तो मैं आपका प्रोटेक्शन तब चाहता था जब रंजीता जी ने प्रश्न पूछा था और इससे जुड़ा हुआ प्रश्न नहीं था, और लेकिन उनका भी मैंने मर्यादा से जवाब दिया है, तो इनका भी जवाब देने।
माननीय मंत्री जी, मेरी कोशिश रहती है कि कोई भी सदस्य यदि ऐसा प्रश्न पूछता है जो मूल प्रश्न से संबंधित नहीं है पर मंत्री जी से संबंधित है
जी,
तो मैं हर बार मंत्री को प्रेरित करता हूं कि या तो तुरंत जवाब दें या फिर बाद में सदस्य को जवाब दें।
माननीय सभापति महोदय, एक दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना हैदराबाद में घटी। मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि ऐसे क्या पेड़ों से दुश्मनी थी कि रात को बड़े भारी संख्या में लाइट लगाकर और बड़ी भारी संख्या में सारे बुलडोजर लगा करके और बड़ी संख्या में 400 पेड़ों को काटा गया। वहाँ जो सुबह के भी अगर आप फोटो देखेंगे तो मोर से लेकर सारे जानवर जो हैं वो वहाँ पर दिख रहे हैं। और इसलिए माननीय सदस्य ने जो विषय उठाया है, इस मामले की गंभीरता को देखते हुए कल पर्यावरण मंत्रालय ने वहाँ के चीफ सेक्रेटरी को नोटिस भेजा है, फैक्चुअल रिपोर्ट ली है, और निश्चित रूप से जिन्होंने इस प्रकार की कार्रवाई की उन पर हम कार्रवाई करें।
सप्लीमेंट्री 5, डॉक्टर फौजिया खान।
Sir, the state pollution control boards have not only failed to meet their authorized staffing levels, but have also fallen short of the mandate by not recruiting a sufficient number of independent scientists for pollution control activities. Media reports indicate that the technical independence of these agencies is often compromised, as top positions are predominantly occupied by civil servants and officials with government backgrounds rather than experts. How does the government justify this mismanagement of executive positions, and has the government analyzed the impacts of this on the functioning of these boards at large, sir? Sir, one more thing I would like to ask, that airsheds are not limited to a certain space. Airsheds are across countries, across boundaries. So what international collaborations do we have to handle the impact of air pollution through international collaborations?
Honorable Minister.
माननीय सभापति महोदय, दो प्रश्न पूछे हैं। पहला जो प्रश्न है, मैंने जब कहा है कि 11,567 वैकेंसी है, तो उस वैकेंसी में टेक्निकल वैकेंसी भी है, इंजीनियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट के भी हैं, साइंटिस्ट भी हैं, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के भी हैं। ये पद ऑलरेडी हमने स्वीकृत कर रखे हैं। इन पदों की भर्ती तेजी से हो, और हमने तो बल्कि यहाँ से ये भी गाइडलाइन करी है कि इस 30 अप्रैल तक सारी भर्तियाँ हो जानी चाहिए। मैंने बताया था फरवरी में भी हमने लेटर इशू किए हैं, सितंबर में भी हमने लेटर इशू किया था। जो दूसरा विषय एयरशेड का विषय है, एयरशेड को पहली बार अगर रिकॉग्नाइज किया गया तो वर्तमान सरकार माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में जो दिल्ली में हमने एयर पॉल्यूशन के लिए CAQM की रचना करी, और CAQM में पहली बार हमने एयरशेड को एक लीगल स्टेटस दिया, उसकी डेफिनेशन को एक्ट में डिफाइन किया है। इसके आधार पे जो हमारे सफल प्रयोग हुए हैं, फ्यूचर में एयरशेड को पहचान करके हम इस पे कार्रवाई करेंगे, ये मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ।
क्वेश्चन नंबर 348, श्री राघव चड्डा।
Sir, question number 348.
Honorable Minister.
Sir, has been placed on the table.
Supplementary number 1, Shri Raghav Chadda.
Sir, India has offered its unflinching loyalty and undying friendship to the US. We have done everything possible to promote and protect the interest of the US and US companies in India. In fact, last week, the Honorable Finance Minister moved an amendment in the Finance Act and removed Google tax, which was an equalization levy of 6% on US companies like Meta, like Amazon, Google, etc., which has caused us a loss of about 3,000 crores. All this was done in order to woo the US administration.
Supplementary.
But despite, sir, I'm just setting the context.
But you have allowed others.
Despite this morning, the Trump administration has levied a 26% Trump tariff on Indian goods, which is likely to wreck the Indian economy, hit us by 50 to 100 basis points in terms of GDP loss, and we will lose our competitive advantage in the global market, particularly ensuring that the doors of the US market are closed for India. एक पुराने ज़माने का गाना याद आता है सर, अच्छा सिला दिया तूने मेरे प्यार का, यार ने ही लूट लिया घर यार का. It is in this context that I would like to ask the Honourable Minister through you, sir. It is in this context that I would like to ask the Honourable Minister through you that should we not withhold the requisite approvals for Elon Musk's Starlink, who is a very visible part of the US administration, and use that as a bargaining chip to renegotiate these Trump tariffs?
Honourable Minister.
Sir, Mr. Raghav Chadha is generally very eloquent, but he has become musical also nowadays. And the way he has framed his direct question with an indirect context. Let me say this, sir, that as a member of the government, and as I said this before in my earlier answer, my responsibility is only one, and that is to 1.4 billion consumers of telecommunications in India. It is my job to provide every opportunity and every available technology in the world to every single consumer in this country. Let me also apprise Honourable Member of Parliament that the only 2 licenses till now that have been given out for satellite technology in India at this point of time happen to be Indian companies, Reliance and Bharti Airtel. We have a very clear window that we have put together, which takes care of our consumers, takes care of India's security concerns, and if you are able to satisfy all those requirements which are the same for every provider of that satellite communication, the doors of India are open to you. The customer will decide which service provider the customer wants to go with. Let me also add here, sir, that India today not only holds the capability of being the largest telecom market in the world with 1.2 billion subscribers, but is also the cheapest telecom market in the world. 10 years ago, whereas voice was 51 paise a minute, today voice is 0.03 paise a minute. On the same front, where data was 286 rupees for 1 GB, today, sir, you will also be astonished. Data is 11 cents per GB, only 9 rupees per GB from 286 rupees. India today, and I would urge all members of parliament across the board, because this is a USP of our country, of Bharat. We are today the cheapest data provider in the world. The average cost of data, sir, in the world, from developed countries to developing countries, is $2.59 per GB. India is 11 cents per GB. We are not close to about only 5% of the data cost of the world. So all data business must come to India because we have that capability, sir.
Supplementary number 2, Raghav Chadha.
So 3 very worrying incidents have happened in the recent past. First is that Elon Musk on his platform X threatened the Ukrainian government, saying that my Starlink system is the backbone of the Ukrainian army and the entire front line would collapse if I turn it off. I'm setting the context. You have
Mr. Raghav Chadha, 1 second.
I have to highlight 3 issues.
1 second.
You have to permit me to...
No.
So I want to place this on record. We are not here to answer with regard to any company's policies. We are here for the consumers of India. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi represents 1.4 billion people. India, which is a power, economic and a political power across the world today. We are not here to answer for any particular company.
Honorable member.
Please let me finish.
I think I will have to give a different nomenclature to my dear friend Jairam Ramesh, being savior of everyone, beyond his party also. Jairam ji, Raghav Chadha is effectively energized to handle his affairs and does not need such kind of support even on parliamentary platform. Raghav ji,
above all, I need your support and your patronage, sir. I need your protection.
This morning you raised a 267 in absentia.
Yes.
I did not reveal this subject to the House. Let me do it now.
Please do, sir.
You are very severely obsessed with this issue of what Trump is doing or someone else is doing. The minister has categorically stated, ask your second supplementary, which is little Indianized.
Sir, I am severely obsessed with anything that hurts the Indian interest and particularly the Indian economic interest. And that is what brings me to this House. And I will continue to passionately raise every issue that hurts my country.
Raise it.
Sir, my question, if you would have heard my question, you would have understood that it is only and only about India. The second worrying incident after Elon Musk's threat to the Ukrainian army, which I wanted to raise, was that about 4 months ago, there was a big drug burst in Andaman where about 6,000 kgs of synthetic drugs were recovered, and it was discovered that a Myanmar-based smuggler was using Starlink satellite internet for navigation. When the Indian government, sir, let me finish, when the Indian government sought the ownership of the devices and the usage of its device, Starlink refused the Indian government, saying we will not provide you with this data, citing some data privacy laws. My question through you to the Honourable Minister is that what is the government's plan to address such resistance from Starlink, and how are we going to address this issue of potential misuse of satellite internet spectrum that we are likely to give, particularly Starlink?
One second. Honourable members, one second. Honourable members, I would appreciate members to be extremely vigilant with answers. When this point was asked in an earlier question, in a pointed manner, the Honourable Minister declared in categorical terms, in this country, in no part of this country this happens. Categorically. No, he said, the minister did not confine to Manipur. The minister said, on every inch of this country, there can be no such incursion, and there has been no incursion. How many times you would want him to reiterate? Come on, Honourable Minister. Let us be vigilant for every reply.
Sir, I wanted to remove some of the misconceptions that he has about Starlink.
Why only some?
I mean, all of them. Let me give some data, sir, for him. He is worried Starlink is a competitive threat that we are supporting. But whatever it is, sir, the broadband speed that our terrestrial network is 188 times more than what Starlink or any other satellite network can provide. That's number one data, sir. For example, since he mentioned Starlink, the total customers the Starlink had over the last 3 years in the entire world is 46 lakhs, which is meager number compared to the 990 crore people with a broadband connection that India has. And Starlink provides main competition to the fixed broadband, sir, that our customers are almost 4.5 crores, which is 10 times more than the entire worldwide population or the services that a Starlink provides. That's number one. So their reach is much lower than any of our networks. Number two,
I think,
Honourable Minister.
So let me be very clear, because I think it's important in the garb of trying to score a political point. Mr. Raghav Chadha is trying to stoke fear in the minds of all of us in this House, as well as in the country at large. So I would like to put him at rest, and through that also inform our citizens of what the safeguards that we are going to put in place. His pointed reference has to do with security, not necessarily with the market size, not necessarily with the number of customers that they can serve, any satellite company. Again, I want to mention here very categorically that I am not here representing or answering for any company. I am company agnostic. I am citizen-centric. And therefore, with regard to that, Government of India, the Home Minister sitting with me, we have put together a very strict security protocol to ensure the security concerns of our citizens with regard to any SATCOM provider. And let me mention the 6 steps that we have taken. The first, the service provider has to, mandatory, establish an Earth Station gateway in India for each satellite network. So the gateway has to be on our soil. Goes back to the point that the chairman of the House has said, on Indian soil, not external abroad. Second, the operation, maintenance and control and monitoring center of that gateway also has to be on Indian soil. It cannot be anywhere else but on Indian soil. Third, sir, all originating and terminating traffic for Indian customers, 1.4 billion of us, shall pass through that gateway which is located in India, on Indian soil. And that is mandatory. And such traffic will not be routed through any gateway outside Indian shores. That's point number 3. Point number 4, adequate monitoring facility will also be made available by the service provider at the gateway to monitor all traffic for security concerns originating from India or coming into Indian soil from a security perspective. And finally, sir, the service provider shall ensure, and that goes to the first part of the question that Honourable MP has raised, that any user terminal, any single user terminal registered in the gateway of any other country, so the point that you mentioned, whether it is in Myanmar or Timbuktu for that matter, any user terminal registered in the gateway of any other country has to be mandatorily registered with the Indian gateway when operating from Indian territory. Indian satellite network cannot be accessible to any user terminal from outside our country. That is the security concerns that have been addressed by the Home Ministry along with the Telecom Ministry to ensure that India remains a safe place for operation of satellite network.
Supplementary number 3, Sri K.R.N. Rajesh Kumar.
Sir, the main question asked by our friend Raghav Chadha. It is, I understand that technology is now new technology, SATCOM. It is direct to device. But my worries about in tribal and remote area, the BSNL establishing the tower. The private network operator, they are paying the installation charge and using the BSNL tower. But in my area, in tribal area, that hills area, the BSNL established the construction tower. Only the BSNL only put the transmitter. The private network operator, they are not putting the transmitter. So the tribal area, the tribal people, they are not get the good communication. In this, that the latest technology, they asking the Raghav Chadha and the concerned minister, they are explained. That is the direct to device. It is a satellite communication to direct to device. First, the government initiate like these technologies, that like this latest technology in tribal area and hills area and the remote area, because the network operators, their aims are under only the revenue. So the in remote area, they are not getting the tower signal and communication system is very poor, because you know, Honorable Chairman Sir, Chairman Sir, nowadays all are in online system. That employment opportunities and
member,
education
your
objectives online.
supplementary.
The database is very important. So I ask the minister to where the latest technology. First, you started in the tribal and remote area, hills area. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Minister.
So I would like to thank the Honourable MP because I think in his introductory statement, he has made a very strong case for the provision of satellite communication in our country. Where there is no OFC fibre, sir, where you cannot put up towers, and not necessarily in tribal areas, but more so in hilly areas and mountainous regions, satellite is the only option. I would like to inform him as well on the first part of his question, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been very clear in his articulation that we now must not look at necessarily more schemes, but look at 100% saturation of the schemes that we have. And with that in mind, we will achieve 100% saturation of telecom connectivity through mobile in India. Let me just inform the honourable member. BSNL alone has had the responsibility of 20,279 towers through 4 schemes, including the left-wing extremism area, tribal areas, aspirational districts, of which 10,448 towers have been put up in a period of just 18 months. 52% of the work has been done in exactly 18 months. As far as the private sector telecom service providers are concerned, they have been tasked with putting up 8,206 towers, of which they have put up 6,893 towers. 84% of the task has also been done. So we are expanding very rapidly. Close to about 45,000 crores of Government of India have been given through the Digital Bharat Nidhi to provide communication to every single citizen in our country. The second point that he has made, he is very, very right, sir, that direct-to-device is the new technology. But direct-to-device is only today, at this point of time, limited to voice provision, to message provision. And I'm very happy through you, sir, to inform this House and through the House, our citizens at large, that the first direct-to-device service in India, the first D2D service in India, has been provided to the citizens of our country through satellite communication by no other company. Only one company, and that company's name, sir, is BSNL. In October of 2024, BSNL has launched the direct-to-device service along with Viasat, which is Inmarsat, the satellite company, and it was inaugurated at the India Mobile Congress in 2024 by the Prime Minister of India. So BSNL again is trying to be first, I'm using the word trying to be first in service provision to our customers.
Supplementary number 4, Shri Randeep Singh Surjewala.
Sir, the Minister spoke about a range of issues on satellite internet spectrum auction. Is the Minister aware that post the 2012 Supreme Court order on spectrum auction, and when they brought the 2023 Act, Government of India, perhaps his ministry, moved the Supreme Court for amendment of its order on spectrum auction for a range of issues, including satellite spectrum auction. And the Supreme Court had rejected the same on 1st of May 2024. So since post the Supreme Court judgment of 2012, spectrum auction is the only way forward, on what basis is the Minister now saying that the satellite spectrum auction would have to be excluded? And how would the government protect interest of the exchequer by ensuring that a fair amount comes by a transparent method where everybody is allowed to participate, rather every company going and engaging a contract with the same Starlink? Will the Minister answer?
Honorable Minister.
I'd like to thank my colleague Randeep Surjewala ji for his question. I think it's important to be able to put this once and all for all to rest. This is a question that has been plaguing the minds of the media. It has been plaguing the minds of many an individual citizen in this country. And I think it's important to put the science behind SATCOM on the floor of the House. So let me start by saying, sir, that mobile technology is something that works on a low frequency wave. So when something works on a low frequency wave, the minute the signal goes out from our phone, it kind of dissipates into the atmosphere. तो पूरे क्षेत्र में ये फैल जाता है. And therefore, जब पूरे क्षेत्र में फैल जाता है, you can have many more people participating. You cannot have many more people participating in that same space, because otherwise the signals will get mixed. And my call to Randeep ji will be heard by Pemasani ji or by X, Y, or Z. And therefore, spectrum for mobile is auctioned provider to provider. As far as satellite is concerned, sir, satellite has a fixed antenna. Your fixed antenna has to always connect to the satellite. And therefore, the satellite frequency is a much higher frequency. When it is a higher frequency, it doesn't dissipate. फैलता नहीं है. डायरेक्ट लेजर की तरह आपके फोन से सीधा सैटेलाइट को जाता है. तो उसी पाइप में मेरा सिग्नल भी जा सकता है, मनसुख भाई का भी सिग्नल जा सकता है, सुरजेवाला का भी सिग्नल जा सकता है. So satellite spectrum is shared. Anything that is shared cannot be auctioned. And therefore, sir, ITU, which is the International Telecommunications Union, this is the second point I want to make, sir. They assign the satellite orbit and the frequency on which the satellite will orbit the Earth. Countries, whether it is India or X, Y, or Z, can only control the usage of those satellites and the service that is provided in your respective country. So therefore, we cannot auction something, an asset which is not fully in our control. And that applies not only to India, it applies to all countries on this earth. And therefore, the point I want to make to Randeep ji is, today there is no country that auctions satellite spectrum across the world. The USA's Orbit Act prohibits auctioning of satellite spectrum. The USA administratively assigns spectrum. Europe, whether it's France, Germany, UK, Russia, all countries assigned spectrum for satellite administratively. India is only following the global model. That is point one, sir. Point number two that I'd like to make to him is with regard to, and therefore satellite spectrum will be assigned administratively. Now the question he's asked is with regard to pricing. That pricing will be defined by TRAI. We have moved an application to TRAI to define what that pricing is. Once TRAI defines that price, at that price, spectrum will be allocated to all providers at the same price. There will be no difference on that.